Welcome back to Our Vision Farm. In the midst of winter here in Maine, I wanted to show you guys everything that we have going on so far indoors while we wait for summertime to arrive and we can get started on our outside projects. This is our very first batch of microgreens that we have started. The top two over here are broccoli microgreens. I'm thinking that they are almost ready for harvest. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to see if they'll get taller. We made a couple mistakes with these, and so when we do our second round, we'll definitely fix those mistakes. The second two trays are radish microgreens. Those are doing really good. This one's also radish. And then we have beets also, the bright hot pink ones. We have 3 trays of them. You can tell which ones I didn't heavily seed as much as like these, for example. The beets took really long to germinate. That's probably normal, but I found the radish and the broccoli seeds germinated super fast. So I'm thinking that they're almost ready to harvest. It's been pretty cold in our house. We keep our house at around 58 degrees. So surprisingly, these all germinated and have grown good. But I think that's why they are so slow growing, because of the cold, most likely. Our plan is to sell these on our farm stand eventually once we get the hang of it and we get the timing of it correct. We're going to try selling them in our farm stand, our roadside farm stand. So we're just practicing and trying out different seed varieties and see which ones we like. I've also been sprouting some seeds. Let me pull some of those out so you can see. So for our seed sprouting, these are broccoli seeds that were already ready. So I bagged them up and stuck them in the fridge. These are alfalfa seed sprouts. These are really good. The broccoli ones have a little bit kind of like a radish flavor, a spicy kick to them. But I love the sweetness and the crunch of sprouts, especially the alfalfa ones. It feels like you're eating like the pea pods or like the snow peas that you grow in the springtime. It tastes just like that. These are mung bean sprouts, also really slow growing, probably because of the coldness in our kitchen. But those are still, meanwhile these are done, these are still growing. So I'm not really liking the mung bean sprouts on how slow they've been just germinating. And they germinate really fast, but like after that they grow really slow. I'm used to them growing a lot faster. When we lived in Florida, I used to sprout these also, and they grew a lot faster over there. Maybe I'll just stick to alfalfa and broccoli seeds. They seem to like grow a lot faster in the jar. I have jars specifically just for sprouting, and I usually set a towel on the table, and then like when I do my rinses, I drain it out as much as I can and then put paper towel and set it on a towel and let all the water drain out to encourage everything to drain out and not get any mold and things growing in there. So that is another thing we got going indoors. You guys already know that we have all of our fruit bearing bushes or trees and plants that we're going to be planting this year. We already have it all under one roof. So these are the kiwi berries, the 6 kiwi berry plants. There's some male and some females in here for pollination. I brought them inside and out on this sunny window in our living room because I want to see some life out of these. They're still in dormancy because I think we've been keeping them just too cold. So I brought them in here because we have this extra heater right here, and the sun in this window just warms it up really nicely. So I'm guessing now with these, this is only the second day of them being in here, they're going to warm up, they're going to come out of dormancy, and I just want to make sure that these are alive, and I want to see some type of life from them before it becomes planting time this summer. This is the progress on our Carmine Jewel cherry plants, the bush variety. I also brought them here on the window because I felt like these are very cold hardy, but I felt like it was just too cold, and I don't know, they looked like they were yellowing a little bit more than when we first got them, and my husband said that I should bring them out here in the sun and the warmth too, just to make sure they are growing some good roots. They came as little plugs and we transplanted them in these pots. but I want to make sure that they're doing good, they're doing all right, and they're spreading into these pots. And I want them to be pretty good sized plants before we put them in the ground in the summertime. So I brought them in here because they're going to be lots more warm and toasty in here and get some sunlight. And even though they are cold tolerant, since we just transplanted these, I think this would be the best bet, keeping them warmer so they establish some roots and maybe grow some new leaves. And then we'll see how they do once we plant them into the ground this summer. So in here I have 4 little itty bitty pots where I'm trying to germinate some peppermint plants. I always had peppermint growing in our garden in Florida, so we had some seeds, and I don't see anything in here yet, but I just planted them a couple days ago, and I want to see if we can get a couple peppermint plants to add into our flower garden area and just grow them indoors for now until it's outside planting time. I'm also going to do the same with rosemary and thyme seeds that I ordered from migardener.com. I'm going to be doing a seed haul once I get all my seeds in, and so that'll be cool to share with you guys what we plan on growing. But for now, I started the peppermint seeds, and then any other herbs that I ordered, I'm going to do the same thing, try to germinate them and grow them indoors before it's planting time outside. Then right off the living room, we have our indoor little grow area that I have showed you guys before in other videos. These are the haskap or the honeyberries. These are still doing really good, super cold hardy, and they've just been flourishing in here, growing new leaves and buds despite how cold it is in here. We have this heater, this little radiator heater in here, and this grow light up here. That is pretty much it. And let me see what temperature it is right now. So it's about 50 degrees in here, and that's because it's a little bit warmer outside. I think we have the highest of 30 degrees outside today. At nighttime, this room tends to stay at about 40 degrees with the little heater, and I think that is good because these plants in particularly look really healthy, and they look like they're still producing new vegetation, new leaves, despite how cold it is. And before, I had the kiwi berries and the carmine jewel cherries right here on this table, and they didn't seem to be doing very good with the coldness in here and I guess the amount of light. So that's why I moved those out by the window. But the haskap berries, as long as they are doing this good and showing progress, I'm just going to keep them in here because these obviously look how much space they take up. I don't want to have to move these into inside the house if I don't have to. And they've just been doing really good. I don't know if they've gotten taller. I feel like they've gotten taller since we planted them, and I do see new growth up on the tippy tops, so it could be that they're already even growing out of these pots. I've kind of lifted them out of the pot here to check to see, and the roots still haven't, like, we don't have no root bound issues yet. They're not growing that fast, but I definitely like how they are growing from like the base and up. They're showing lots of sign of life and that they're happy. And I've been watering them pretty regularly. When I notice that they kind of look a little light and they feel really lightweight, I give them a good watering. And other than that, I haven't been doing anything else. No fertilizers or nothing special. Just keeping this light on during the daytime and this heater. And then at nighttime, in the evening, I turn off the light but keep the heater on. And they've been doing really good. So that is the last thing that we have going for us here during the winter in Maine. It's definitely keeping us busy. When I do my seed haul, I'll be able to show you everything else that we plan on growing. And I wrote down like a whole list based on what seeds we bought, when we're supposed to start them indoors, when we're supposed to transplant them. So we have a couple plants. I think most of them were the herbs that we're starting like either now or towards February, which is very soon. And then most of the other ones are a little bit later in the springtime. So we're going to be starting lots and lots of things indoors for sure. And we'll be transplanting them. That's going to be the best bet here because we can get frost pretty late here in Maine. I've seen like in pictures that other people have shared, it can snow all the way up through Mother's Day here, and they really don't recommend planting anything outside till June 1st unless you're prepared to cover things in case of a last minute frost or a late season frost. So we're going to be starting lots of things inside, but wanted to show you everything that we had growing inside as of now. It is almost end of January. And this is all the things that we have going inside. We're definitely staying busy and just looking forward to the outdoor growing season.